What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the What's Good in Wrestling podcast. This is going to be episode 2 of the Brand Wars. I am here with the Smackdown general manager, Britton Harrison. What's going on, man?
It's episode 2, I think.
Yep.
I don't know how to start. Yeah, we're going in, baby. We got some notes. We're gonna go ham.
Yeah, we're going ham. So if you guys missed the first episode, we drafted rosters to fantasy book the WWE. So I am the GM of Monday Night Raw. As you can see, the red lights. I mean, we're here at Monday Night Raw, and then we got Friday Night SmackDown. The GM is Britton Harrison, the GM booking, but we have actual GMs and stuff. But we'll get into all that stuff. We're gonna have a lot of fun with this. If you are watching, make sure to vote down below. Who do you think shows was better? We're not going to be offended because we're going to be doing this for a long time. So if you think my show was terrible, let me know, because then I can get better. But yeah, we'll be a lot more active too on social media. Follow our Twitter up above there. We're both avoiding certain things that are being trending on Twitter right now. So we're not going to say it because maybe somebody will comment it just to be, a jackass. You know what I mean? So we're avoiding some stuff. So that's why we haven't been that active on social media. So don't worry, we will be. And we appreciate you for coming to see this. We're also going to briefly talk a little bit about Britain's experience at AEW Winter is Coming. I believe that was the official title. So he'll be giving his thoughts on the show after we're done talking about ours. I feel like mine's going to be quick. Like I have explanations for stuff, but I don't know how detailed I'm going to get because it's the first show. You know what I mean? So I don't know if you want to go first, but I don't mind going first if you want.
Go for it. Yeah.
All right. So this is week 1. This is week 1 of what we're building to. I don't know what, like, are we going into a pay-per-view? We'll discuss this after, but like, we'll do like
Yeah, I meant to
3 or
ask
4
you about
weeks.
that.
Yeah, we have to figure that out. But this is week 1, so no big deal. And again, watch the first episode if you want to know our rosters, but you'll hear a lot of the guys that we have on here, guys and girls that we have on here. So the first Raw show that I have booked, it took me a little longer than I thought it would, but my number one guy in the show is John Cena, so he has to open the show. John Cena's opening the show. Like when that music hits, the building's about to either hate it or love it, but he's getting a pop because he's back. You know what I mean? John Cena's back. He's going to be full time for the most part on my show because in real life, the dude's still in great shape. It's not, a bad thing, or it's not like, something that can't happen. Like it definitely can happen. This guy could be full time. He could. So he opens the show basically doing his Cena thing, getting the cheap pops, talking about the hometown and saying he's back full time. But he barely gets started and there's an interruption. And it's Finn Balor who comes out to interrupt John Cena. Now, it's not a heel babyface type of conversation. It's, cool. John Cena's in the ring. That's great. But you've cost me opportunities because it's happened. Finn Balor has been robbed of opportunities by John Cena in the real WWE, but there was nothing to it. Nothing ever came out of it. And I was like, there could be something here. And 2 great performers. So basically, Finn Balor comes out to say, listen, man, I'm trying to prove that I am one of the best in the world. And Finn Balor is one of the best in the world. So basically, he says, I respect you, but you're in the way of my opportunities. And I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So he wants to prove himself. So the main event of the night will be John Cena versus Finn Balor in a match to basically a prove yourself match. You can hang with John Cena, you're going to be in the main event. So we'll see what happens later on. Finn Balor versus Cena in the main event. So there's a graphic that comes up after that, basically talking about there'll be 2 triple threat matches, and the winner of each of those triple threat matches will move on to next week's Raw to determine the number 1 contender for the United States Championship. So we're going to make sure the United States Championship gets a lot of airtime on Monday Night Raw, which is funny because Damian Priest is not booked on this show and he's the U.S. champion, but it's because we're building towards making sure that that title is legitimate, and we'll see him briefly later on. But the first triple threat happens. It's Kofi Kingston versus Austin Theory versus Sami Zayn. So some pretty damn good performers. A lot of guys that usually don't get an opportunity at titles right away. Kofi being an exception. Sami Zayn has had his chances, but not enough, in my opinion. But basically, it's just a typical triple threat. We've got a couple heels in there. They take their turns at Kofi. Kofi gets his opportunities as well, but ultimately Austin Theory is the one that grabs the victory to move on to the next week's Raw match to determine the number one contender. Nothing too crazy for that. Just a good triple threat match. Then we have a women's match. It's Asuka versus Queen Zelina. So for now, she's still the queen on my show. She's still got a little bit more credibility if she's Queen Zelina. So just another good match, two pretty good performers. The winner is Asuka. Now, Becky is on commentary during this match. So Becky is there. She's watching because she's the champion on my show. And she talks about there's no competition. Like, she is just the best. Like, there's nobody that could touch her on the show. She's beat everybody. And right as Asuka wins, Becky, of course, comes in and starts attacking Asuka to prove, listen, you're no competition to me. I gifted you that title. She stands over her with the title. And as they go to commercial, you know how at the top of the screen, it always says like hashtag Raw or hashtag whatever, like there's something there. It changes briefly. That hashtag changes. And somebody on commentary notices it, but it's quick. And then it goes to commercial. And the hashtag says hashtag I'm not finished with you. And then it goes away really quick. So there's something there, but it hasn't been talked about yet. Will it have to do with that? I don't know. We'll have to see. Okay. So come back from commercial. Big E comes to the ring, the champ. Okay. So the WWE champion on my show. So he's talking again, as a champion does, about all the opportunities that he has to prove that he's the most dominant WWE champion of all time. Bobby Lashley interrupts. We've got lots of interruptions tonight. It's the first week. We got to have people interrupting, right? So Bobby Lashley comes to the ring with MVP and the Hurt Business right behind him. So they're all out there. It's Big E and all of the Hurt Business. So they're threatening him a little bit. They're talking down on him. There's a bunch of them. They have a bunch of the guys out there. They're big dudes. The Hurt Business. They're going to be a real faction on this show. So Bobby basically says he should be champion and he should get a match with him. He says he's dominant. He's Bobby Lashley. He should have that match. So Big E isn't just going to give him that match. Of course, you got to prove it. But of course, they're not liking that. So the Hurt Business, they're taking off their jackets. They're getting ready. They're unbuttoning the cuffs. They're getting ready to just jump this guy. Well, the New Day comes in. They have to. Kofi and Xavier are right there. They have to have Big E's back. They're all in the same show. It wouldn't make sense, right? So MVP is still injured, so he can't really be doing too much. But he looks at Big E and says that the Hurt Business always has numbers and he doesn't have to unleash the Hurt just yet. So they get out of the ring and everybody's booing and they're kind of puzzled, like they don't have numbers. It's, it was clear as day. It would have been 3 versus 3 because MVP couldn't do too much. So Xavier's do it like a little puzzle. He's counting. Nothing happens after that though, but it's just something that leaves you thinking, why is he saying they have numbers? Okay. All right. The second triple threat's happening. Obviously, we need to find out who's going to be facing Austin Theory next week. So it's The Miz versus Samoa Joe versus Mustafa Ali. So in that match, I thought it was a good mix. You've got The Miz, who's more of a, kind of an in-between style. Samoa Joe, really a bruiser type who can fly around the ring just like anybody else. And Mustafa Ali, who's clearly a very talented wrestler. But the winner ultimately is Samoa Joe. He's too tough. He's too big for them. So next week, the number one contender match will be Austin Theory versus Samoa Joe. Joe is a face, by the way. Samoa Joe is a face still. He after NXT and stuff like that, he's still a face. And Damian Priest is also a face. Damian Priest is also a face on this show. And he was watching on, kind of giving some props, and then it just, goes to the next backstage segment with Edge. Edge is back there, of course. So we need to hear from Edge. and of course, he's talking about how he, should have chances at the title. He's built his way up multiple times. He didn't get, what he wanted at WrestleMania, and he doesn't feel like he got the right opportunities at the right time. So he's talking, and in comes Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is right there to be like, hey, basically he used to look up to Edge, both being Canadian. And now he looks down on him because he's a beaten up old man. He doesn't think that he's any good anymore. So they're getting real close, and you see a face go right in between them, and it's Mr. Eric Bischoff, baby, making his presence felt, saying that he's like, there's no need for this, and that he's got a very expensive set. He doesn't want them to be breaking down this very expensive Raw set. And if they do, he's going to fire them if they touch each other, even one more second, if they do anything, because he doesn't want any of that. But he says next week there will be a match, Edge versus Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw. So that should be a really good one. I'm excited to book that one. Okay. So that happens. Then there's a video package to promote next week, Braun Breaker next week on Monday Night Raw. So he's getting at least a little bit of a plug. He wasn't there, so we had to make sure that people knew that he would be next week on Monday Night Raw. Main event time: John Cena versus Finn Balor. So this one is a huge spot fest. It's the first main event on Raw that they've got to get in their licks. You got to have Cena with his 5 moves of doom, everything. Finn Balor hitting him with a finisher, kick out. Cena, kick out, whatever, right? And Finn Balor pulls off the win against John Cena in the main event of Monday Night Raw. We need to have Finn winning this match. It's huge. They there's some respect there, though. They shake hands, the show's ending, and as the lower pop-up is coming up for Monday Night Raw to end, it starts to fizzle out, and it says again, "I'm not finished with you," and the show ends. That's it. That's Monday Night Raw. So there's a little bit of a cliffhanger, and it showed multiple times. So it's like, you never know who it's about. You know what I mean?
That was good. I can tell you now, yours is going to be better than mine.
Nah, bro, that's not how it works. We're gonna think the same thing. We have to let the people decide that.
Owens and Edge, dream match. Bravo. I pray we get that, especially now that they're both on Raw and Owens is re-signed.
Yep. Big news.
All right. Well, here we go. Smackdown, live from the Simmons Bank Arena in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Oh my God, he's even got the location. Oh my God, I lost already.
Show opens up with Roman and the Usos. They all got their title belts. They do the thing. No Heyman with them.
Oh.
Roman says, Little Rock, acknowledge me. Says we're never going to see the wise man again because the wise man is a con man. Ooh. And you only get one shot. Where I meant to write a little ad-lib there about like one chance, whatever. There's no second chances when it comes to loyalty in the bloodline. Roman says he's bored. He's beaten everyone. He wants to beat someone that he's never beaten before. So he challenges anybody in that locker room that hasn't gotten this work, come out here and get this work. And then bask in his glory. Here comes Keith Lee strutting down the ring.
Baby.
Roman says, I've beaten you. I have nothing to prove to you. Keith Lee says, yeah, that was 2 years ago. And it wasn't one-on-one. It was a 5-man match or 15-man match. We had all been beating the crap out of each other. Keith tells Roman that he does not fear him, nor does he respect him. And the only way he's getting out of the ring is if Roman makes him. They have a stare down. Roman backs up, gives the nod to the Usos, and they attack. They get the upper hand while Roman watches on. Keith Lee starts fighting back. They've got him like his hands behind his back to go for the super kick. Keith Lee moves, and one of the Usos hits the other with the super kick. He picks the other one up for the spirit bomb, and now he's just looking at Roman. Roman goes for a guillotine, because he knows that the numbers have reached him. So before he can even really get up, Roman goes for the guillotine. Keith Lee lifts him up and tries to get him up on his shoulders for the Big Bang Catastrophe, but Roman gouges his eyes and ducks and leaves the ring.
Damn.
It's the end of segment 1. He poses with the title on the ramp. Match number 2, Chad Gable versus Ricochet. It's a fun opener. You know, you're going to have the clean, crisp moves. It's going to be a big spot fest. Ricochet has huge crowd support. I mean, the crowd is really into Ricochet. They're really into the flips and everything. Gable really plays up the heel role. He's still doing the For the Academy thing, even though he doesn't have Otis with him. Ricochet hits a huge reversal for a tornado DDT and then goes for the 630 splash for the victory.
Dope.
Next, we got a backstage segment with RK Bro. Riddle is blabbing about their match with the Viking Raiders. Should they be called? Maybe they'll be friends after the match. You know, maybe they'll all go get beers, whatever. Will they be the Bro Raiders? Will they be the Viking Bros? Whatever. Maybe they'll let him wear the helmet. Randy walks to the ring in absolute disgust. RK Bro versus the Viking Raiders. Viking Raiders get 2 very close falls, but Orton hits an RKO on Ivar after he does the little cartwheel thing. Riddle tries to be bros and do the, you know, thing, but they want no parts of it. All right. Segment number 5, top of the hour. New general manager Bayley says that she couldn't sit at home during her injury and let the SmackDown women's division that she built be in utter chaos and shambles. And her first order of business is finding a new SmackDown women's champion since Charlotte Flair fell into a well. Bayley announces a 6-pack elimination challenge match for the vacant title at the pay-per-view. Sasha versus Bianca versus Rhea versus Liv Morgan versus Mandy Rose versus Toni Storm. Sasha comes out and says that she's the boss, she's the blueprint, and that all these other girls want to copy. She should be awarded the title, but she is the best, and she will beat all these women with ease. Enter Bianca. Bianca reminds Sasha that she couldn't beat her at Mania and duck the SummerSlam rematch. Bianca says that she's the EST and will prove it anywhere, whether it's WrestleMania, whether it's Little Rock, it doesn't matter. Challenges Sasha to a match. Sasha kind of gives her like a, you know, and I know something you don't know look, and accepts. Main event is Sasha versus Bianca.
Ooh.
Match number 6, Intercontinental Title Open Challenge. Shinsuke, no Rick Boogs. He does his entrance to a big ovation. He does the come on thing, you know, Pat McAfee's on the table getting crunk. Out comes Dijak. No T-bar thing, nothing like that. He reintroduces himself to the crowd. He's a babyface this time, says he doesn't want to just tell the fans who he is, but he wants to show them and accepts the challenge. It's a very physical back and forth match, but Shinsuke goes over and they shake hands after the match. Next, we have the Usos versus the Street Profits. Usos win after Jimmy hits Dawkins with an illegal super kick outside when the ref isn't looking. They beat up on the Street Profits until Keith Lee comes back out for the save. Michael Cole announces a 6-man tag main event for next week. Keith Lee and the Street Profits versus the Bloodline.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah. Match number 8. This is the main event. Sasha versus Bianca. It's a back and forth. They have callbacks to the Mania match. Just another classic because when these two get in the ring together, it's just magic. Bianca tries to go for the whip with her hair again on Sasha. Sasha catches the braid, yanks Bianca down to the ground, even though Sasha is the face right now. She's acting heelish. Sasha holds on to the braid and just stomps Bianca's head and face, leading to the DQ. The crowd boos Sasha, but she keeps attacking until Liv Morgan comes out, then Mandy Rose, then Toni Storm, and then the goddess Alexa Bliss comes out. She's not doing the Fiend stuff anymore. She's just back to the old 2017 goddess gimmick. And she looks like she's going to help the faces, but she clocks Bianca and joins the heels to attack the faces to close the show.
Damn.
Yeah, I really kind of just went through one thing. I didn't change anything. I should have changed a couple of things, but there's ideas for next week that I
dude, what do you mean? That was a great show. What the hell, dude? I'm invested already, bro.
Well, thank you.
That big 6-man tag is fire. That's a great idea, dude. Keith Lee versus Roman. That's big shit right there.
Yeah, I need to go into a little more detail on some of the things, but yeah, it was fun. These are so much fun to do.
Dude, give us the friggin' books, WWE. Like we could book this.
I'll do it for free for about a couple of months until you realize how good I am, and then you can start paying me.
Yeah, like $10 an hour or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just pay for me to move to Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah, and
or
then
wherever.
No, that was, dude. I think we're good, man. I think we're doing quite good. We're setting up some little storylines here. We're setting up some, Alexa turning heel at the end there. That's that's some smart booking. That's some
I kind
smart
of had
booking.
two heel turns in one night. I wasn't really thinking, but
Hey,
like within
man,
seconds of each other.
dude, the Paul Heyman thing is really interesting.
Yeah, because you never know when he's gonna rear his ugly head again.
Dude, that's pretty good. I like that. I like that. I think we both have some cliffhangers here, man. Cause like we haven't and like we haven't, I don't know, you didn't use obviously your whole roster yet, right?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, see, neither did I. I like went through my whole roster and like I'm like, damn, I didn't use a lot of my roster. And I have ideas that will tie into the next week coming up. So I think that we did a really good job. And now it's going to be tough to start all over again and book another week. So we'll have to discuss after about the pay-per-view stuff. But vote down below. You can tweet us. You can do whatever you want, but voting down below and tweeting is great. I mean, you could do both. But yeah, no, I like we don't expect a lot of responses right away because we're a brand new podcast, but we're doing this for fun at the same time. And maybe you'll discover this podcast way later and you'll run through the entire thing. I mean, that could happen. You might start at week one and end up with 10 weeks full of us booking stuff, and then you'll be into it. So who knows?
Yeah.
But I hope that you guys enjoyed that portion. I do want to close the podcast with your winter is coming thoughts from AEW. Um, but yeah, no, that great stuff from us. I think for the first week we're on SmackDown, but winter's coming, so give the people your thoughts, some highlights, and I think you said you had a story that you wanted to say for the podcast. So go to town, man. I want to hear it.
Yeah. So yesterday was AEW's Winter is Coming. Obviously, I bought a ticket about a week ago. The ticket when I bought it, I thought it was going to be crap by the way it was sitting, but it was actually a really great seat. Had a full view of the ring and the stage. If you want to see any of the pictures or the videos that I took, you can see those at my Twitter down below. But for my first AEW show, like it was awesome to say that I've been to an AEW show, but for one that they promote so much as like our biggest non pay per view special of the year, I kind of felt a little gypped. Um, which maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who wasn't a fan of a 60-minute draw, but I went there because I wanted to see those two really kind of beat the crap out of each other and have a good match and have some kind of conclusive ending to it. But they announced the 60-minute time limit at the beginning of a match and they opened the show with it, which was weird. Um, I guess if they main evented with it, everybody would have known that it was going to go an hour. I don't know. But after about the 30-minute mark, everybody just kind of got over it because we were into it at one point, but there's that spot where Hangman goes out to the outside and gets busted open. And Brian's just doing like jumping jacks and flipping off the crowd. And it really took away from the whole flow of the match. And it took them a minute to try to get back to that point. And they didn't really get to that point until the last like 5 minutes of the match when everybody's like, oh shit, are we going to have a winner or not? And then everybody saw the last minute. Brian does the like skinning the cat thing, and then Hangman does the lariat, and then goes to the outside, and then does a proper buckshot lariat. But as he's crawling to the cover, the bell rings. Whatever.
Another draw, and this is what I mentioned to you before we started recording. Brian has been in two draws already.
Yeah, both with the world champion, and I don't understand that. Like, it makes me not care to see him beat the world champion at this point because it's like, okay, next time he faces the champion, it's just going to go to another draw, or it's going to be like the last minute of the match, he taps out or something. It's just
So
going to piss me off.
like, what is that saying about Brian if he can't beat Kenny Omega in 30 minutes and now he can't beat Hangman in an hour?
Yeah,
So
this.
is that helping him or is that against him?
Yeah, I know this isn't WWE, but like this dude was making Batista tap out. This dude was making, was beating Triple H, beating John Cena, and you
Yeah.
can't beat
He beat Triple
Adam
H and
Page.
Batista and Randy Orton in the same night.
You can't beat Adam Page in an hour. And like
Like,
they made sure to stretch that match to 60 minutes too, man. Because there was that time, there was a couple other times where it's like you know exactly what they're doing, and at that point you just have no interest in it because it's like you just got to sit here and wait for it to happen. And then the bell rang and the crowd booed, There was a "thank bullshit" chant, which I joined in on, and that was the end of that. Man, that was disappointing. But then for the rest of the card, like Matt Sydal versus Wardlow, that lasted 60 seconds. Whatever. Hikaru Shida versus Serena Deeb. We've seen that, like 2 or 3 times already. And then there was MJF versus Dante Martin, which MJF's top of the top, best in the biz right now. Dante Martin is so much fun to watch live. That was a fun main event. But, for Winter is Coming special that they hyped so much and they said, oh, there's going to be a big surprise, whatever. There was no big surprise. There was nothing crazy happen. I expected like Kyle O'Reilly maybe to show up or anything. And it just felt like I went to an AEW house show. Because then they did that. Tony Khan came out before Dynamite. He came out before Rampage. And then he came out after Rampage. And it's like, okay, dude, I don't need to see you 3 times in a night. I don't need to see you 1 time in a night because you scream into a microphone and make me want to cover my ears and scream. But we had Rampage, and then it was, you'll see that this week on Friday if you guys watch that. The Adam Cole with the biggest pop of the night. I got to do the boom, got to do the Adam Cole baby.
Super jealous.
One of those off my checklist. And it's crazy, man, because Adam Cole was a big name in WWE when he got there. And I feel like since leaving, he's gotten even more popular, even though he's in AEW and he's not doing the things he was in WWE. I feel like he's gotten to another level because it doesn't matter if you love him or you hate him. You're going to do the boom and you're going to do the Adam Cole baby because it's just fun.
Yeah.
But there was that. And then there was, for whatever reason, they put on Penelope Ford versus Ty Conti. And then that was the first to last match. And then main event was a 10-man tag. It was Eddie Kingston, LAX, and Lucha Bros versus the Acclaimed, 2.0, and Daniel Garcia. And I won't spoil it, but the referee did botch the finish.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So the crowd chanted, "You fucked up." And that was the end of it. And then Punk came out to send us all home happy, and we skedaddled. It was fun.
How was Punk's pop?
The first time he came out to save Sting and Darby from MJF and FTR. So you didn't get the full effect of it, but like everybody was still cheering along with music. And I know you're not staying on Twitter or you're not going on Twitter, but like after you see the thing tonight, go to my Twitter and go look at the video because like I get the whole thing, like his whole little promo, because it was just like a couple second thing. But like they were just singing along the whole time. And then he came out again for that second time, and then we got more of an effect of it. And he got a huge pop both times. It was crazy.
Who was
first time I've seen him in 10 years.
So who was the biggest pop of the night? Was it Adam Cole?
Adam Cole, CM Punk, and Thunder Rosa, because she had a match on Dark Elevation. And she came out with a Texas flag because she normally comes out with the Mexico flag, but she had a Texas flag this time, and the crowd just went crazy.
Oh, that's dope. That's really dope. I like seeing stuff like that.
No, Britt Baker. She's the only one that I didn't get to see that is one of my favorites. Degree of medical dentistry. That's just what I think every time she does it.
Yeah, I know, dude. Every time, like, she gets a pop, though. I mean, yeah, and Punk wants in her pants. Anyways,
he definitely does.
Was that all the stories that you had? For sure. I don't want to interrupt any stories.
Yeah, Toys for Tots obviously is a great cause.
Yes.
They were doing a thing where the first 300 fans in attendance got a free autographed poster, a Winter's Coming poster, which I thought was going to be like an event poster like NXT used to give out with like the match card, people's pictures on it, signed by the people on the card. Silly me for thinking that they were going to do that because they promoted it as that. I get to the center. I have one of my nephew's toys that I bought him for Christmas that I've sacrificed to take to the Toys for Tots thing. I left my house in a rush and took a toll road to get to the arena in time to get this. I get up there and I was like, man, there's like 200 people in front of me already. Like, I really don't think I'm going to get anything. I'm going to be screwed, which isn't why, I sound like an asshole complaining about a Toys for Tots.
No, you're
end of the day, a kid gets a toy. But I went up there and I gave him the toy. And before I went up there, this girl stood on like the bench and she was like, "All right, guys, when you get up here, you just drop your toy. We'll hand you an autograph. Whoever you get is who you get. No exchanging. Thank you for your donation. Blah blah blah." So the kid beside me dumps his in, and they're like, "Here you go. You get a Wardlow autograph." So I went to the other side and I dropped mine in, and the guy hands me not like an event poster like I thought it was going to be, but just a single 8x10 sheet that says "Winter is Coming" with a lone Matt Sydal autograph. Now, if this was 2010 and Evan Bourne was my favorite wrestler, I'd be over the moon. But
Of course.
like I feel like an asshole saying I'm disappointed at a thing that I got for making a donation. But like when I went through what I did to get it, and I thought it was something else, I felt disappointed in myself for falling for it, and I could have stayed home a little bit longer and not dealt with traffic like I did. And
Like it could have been a dewdrop autograph.
or a Reggie autograph.
Or a Reggie autograph. Dude, your luck with the autographs is not good right now.
No,
it's not.
I literally like I was gonna find a kid to give it to, but the parking, like the venue was so small, I just took it back to my car and just like threw it in the back seat. I was like, "Fuck this, man."
You're just like singing his entrance theme on the way back, like it's old school, and you're like, "Oh, get out of my head."
Someone born to fight.
Oh man, dude. So you just like dropped the toy into, all right, Matt Sydal. It's just the next guy's like, all right, here's your Kenny Omega.
I would have one winged angel him into the toy pile.
Into the toy pile. Oh, just hit him with the nastiest super kick of all time. My famous line whenever like when I'll talk with like my cousins or my sister or something like that, they don't get the reference all the time, but I'll be like, I'm about to hit you with the nastiest claymore of all time. Like anytime they piss me off, I'm like, I'm about to hit you with the nastiest claymore of all time. So that's what I would have done.
Gonna hit you with the moss covered 3-handle family Gradunza.
Oh god, I don't know why my go-to is the claymore, but I feel like it's just easy to hit, you know what I
It
mean?
would be, yeah. It looks like it's fun to hit too. It looks like he's
Oh,
having
of
fun doing it.
course.
Just smack that leg.
And then just toss the leg out, and if you make contact, you make contact, you know what I mean?
Hey,
If I was hitting it on Cody, he'd tell me to hit him right in the teeth. So anyways,
I'm
I don't
not
know.
saying Cody likes the pain, but I'm
Oh,
not saying he hates it.
yeah, exactly. But I don't know if you had anything else to add, but I think that's a really good first episode of the fantasy booking with a little bit of a winter is coming review.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to add. I think that's really good to close on. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this and subscribe. Definitely more of this style of podcast coming. We'll probably get into some more details of Kevin Owens re-signing because we're both huge fans, and it's still early in like the reports coming out. So I think that I'd like to wait to see if maybe a dollar amount surfaces a little bit because he must be getting a big raise. So we'll have to get into that. He was already in the millions per year, if I'm not mistaken. I seen something. I think he was at like 2 or 2.5 before this deal. So he must be, dude. I wouldn't be surprised if they doubled it, but we'll have to see. But yeah, we'll get into that. There's probably some other stuff that we need to talk about. I'm sure there's going to be more happening in the wrestling world. So
not too much has happened.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. I mean, we didn't really touch on the Jeff Hardy stuff either. So we'll probably talk about Jeff Hardy, Kevin Owens, because maybe even more info on the Jeff Hardy stuff will come out because that's also hasn't really been cleared up, to be honest. So we do have some stuff to talk about, and I'd imagine something to do with an MJF promo will have to come out. So if you guys, like I said, if you're new here, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys for watching, and hopefully we see you in the next podcast. Peace.